Who else has found themselves staring at your calendar or your to-do list thinking, how did I get here? How am I supposed to get all of this done? And it's so easy to say yes to everything, volunteering, work projects, school commitments, until suddenly you're spread so thin and you're running around like crazy trying to keep everyone else happy. And then it hits you. You've left no time for yourself, for your own needs. It can be seriously overwhelming. We've all been there. And it's in that moment when you realize you do so much for everyone else that you didn't leave any room for you. And that's where today's quote comes in. You're not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life's weekly empowering episode of Monday's Motivational Mindset. And you know what that means. It's time to kickstart your week with a boost of inspiration, positivity, and a whole lot of motivation. Working moms, I get it. Mondays can be tough. We all know that. But they're also a chance for a fresh start, a new opportunity, and the perfect day to set the tone for a successful week ahead. I'm Kerri Pat, your host and fellow working mom. Every week, I'll be sharing a motivational quote and we'll break it down, share stories, and uncover the wisdom it holds for our unique journey as working moms. So whether you're getting ready for work, making those school lunches, or just enjoying a quiet moment alone, let's dive into this week's dose of motivation. Let's make this Monday count. Today's quote is, "You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm." When I saw this quote, it spoke directly to my heart. When you take a step back and you look at all of your commitments and all the things you have on your plate, on your to-do lists and on your calendar, not to mention all the stuff that comes up in between, whether it's your kids, your partner, your extended family, your friends, your boss, or your coworkers, it can leave you feeling completely overwhelmed. But here's the truth. You are not required to burn yourself out to take care of everyone else. Setting yourself on fire represents the idea of self-sacrifice, giving so much of yourself, your energy, your time, and even your emotional well-being that there's nothing left for you. It's that feeling of constantly being stretched too thin, where you say yes to one or more work projects, staying up late to make sure your kids' lunches are perfect, or skipping your workout or that yoga class because there's laundry piling up everywhere. Eventually, you reach a point where you're just totally and completely drained. We're often conditioned to believe that being a good mom, a good wife, and a good employee means that you're putting everyone else's needs before your own. It's so easy to fall into a trap of thinking that you're somehow failing if you're not always doing. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly setting yourself on fire to keep others warm, you're gonna burn out. And when that happens, you can't show up for anyone, not your kids, not your job, and definitely not yourself. The idea of keeping others warm, that's the caretaker role that we tend to take on. As moms, especially working moms, it's in our nature to just take care of others. We want our kids to feel loved and secure. We want to help our partners succeed. And we want to be that reliable go-to person for our family, for our friends at work. But there's a difference between being supportive and being a martyr. You are allowed to set boundaries and to take time for yourself without feeling guilty. That's what we're focusing on this month, is getting rid of that guilty feeling, whether it's mom guilt, work guilt, wife guilt, guilt that leads you to not take care of yourself. Think about the many times that you've taken on too much to make sure everyone else is comfortable. Maybe you've agreed to volunteer for that school fundraiser when your week was already jam-packed. Or maybe you worked late to help a colleague, even though you had planned to spend that evening unwinding with your family or maybe a little date night with your husband. In that moment, it can feel like it's the right thing to do, like you're being helpful, like you're being the dependable one. But if these sacrifices come at a cost of your well-being, they are not sustainable. It's really important to recognize that while it's admirable to want to help support others, it's not always your job to bear the brunt of it. Keeping others warm doesn't mean sacrificing yourself. It means showing up when you can, but also knowing when to take that step back and take care of yourself. When you're constantly setting yourself on fire for others, balance becomes absolutely impossible. You end up exhausted, overwhelmed, and a lot of times resentful. You might even start feeling like there's no time for you because you're so busy keeping everyone else happy. Work-life balance isn't just about managing your time. It's about managing your energy. If all your energy is spent tending to others, you leave nothing for yourself. And the result is you feel like you're failing at work and at home because you're never fully present in either space. But balance is possible when you learn to protect your own energy and your own time. This means setting boundaries at work and at home and in life in general. It means saying no sometimes or not now, and recognizing that that is okay. It's also okay to prioritize yourself. In fact, it is necessary because when you prioritize your own well-being, you're actually better equipped to take care of others. You'll be more patient with your kids, more focused at work, and more connected in all of your relationships. So why do so many of us feel guilty for taking time for ourselves? It comes from a place of deep-rooted expectations. Society has us believing that a good mom or a good wife is selfless, constantly giving, and just always available. But in reality, no one can sustain that, especially if you're a working mom, not without burning out. And you deserve better than that. We all deserve better than that. Taking time for yourself isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. It's necessary. And taking care of yourself can look like different things. It could be saying no to that extra commitment. It could be booking a babysitter for a couple of hours for some time alone. Or it could be scheduling time to exercise or meditate. Whatever it is that fills your cup, do it without the guilt, without second guessing. So my challenge for you this week, mamas, is to take one small step towards protecting your energy. I want you to set that one boundary, whether it's at work or at home, and stick to it. It doesn't have to be a massive change, just something that lets you reclaim a little bit of your time and your energy. And here's some ideas to get you started, but make sure you listen to tomorrow's episode where I dive in deep to this one. Maybe look at work. Maybe it's deciding that you won't check your emails after a certain hour, or letting a colleague know that you can't take on that extra project right now. Or at home, it could be asking your partner to handle the bedtime routine a couple of nights a week so that you can have that downtime. Or telling your kids that for 30 minutes each day, you'll be focusing on yourself, whether it's exercise, reading, or just relaxing. Whatever boundary you choose, commit to it for 1 week. And when that guilt creeps in, because let's be honest, it probably will, remind yourself that taking care of you is just as important as taking care of everyone else. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I'd love to hear that boundary that you picked. Head on over to our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it so we can help keep you accountable and so that you could help inspire other moms just like you. If you don't already follow the show, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. And if you have an extra second, I'd really appreciate it if you scroll down and hit those 5 stars so we can help this podcast grow. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat.